this is a critical session in my view. And this important forum will set the stage for a citizen-based development planning process in our country. Comes at an opportune time when we are at the implementation stage for a new set of laws that, for the first time since independence, are deliberately aligned to an ideology vested on the sovereignty of our people, wananchi wenyewe. When the citizen is placed at the center of national sovereignty, demographic data becomes the minimum rationale that guides development planning and not a tool for manipulating political arithmetic. Demographic data must always aim at empowering planners to enable greater harmony and symbiosis within governance structures. Viewed that way, demography becomes a worthy reference vis-a-vis outlooks that typically reduce wananchi to mere statistics in the process of development planning. While legislating for a new Kenya driven by a fresh commitment to shape the destiny of our people, we must not lose sight of the fact that we are part of a global community. It is for that reason that we need to create space and goodwill for Millennium Development Goals to prosper, even as we deliver on the more local aspirations of the immediate communities we hail from, the country we belong to, the expanded East African community, and indeed Africa, a place now dubbed the continent of the future. I personally hold the view that this is Africa's century. The journey towards the destination spelled out in the various development blueprints will certainly be a false start if it ignores the critical confluence between demographic data and the prioritization of development planning right from the grassroots level. During the first National Leaders Conference on Population and Development held in 1989, leaders then resolved to take the lead in addressing population concerns. I think it will be important for you as stakeholders gathered this time to try and evaluate how successful the leaders have been since between 1989 and the year 2010. Their commitment and effort resulted in improved health and demographic indicators. As a result, Kenya experienced a demographic transition in the intervening period. Since the 2010 event is a follow-up of the 1989 National Leaders Conference on Population and Development, the deliberations during this conference must purpose to provide guidance on how population and development issues will be implemented in the next decade, given the prevailing realities. The recently released 2009 Population and Housing Census results indicated Kenya's total population is standing at 38.6 million people. At the projected rate of population growth, Kenya will be home to 71.5 million people by our benchmark year 2030. Yet the impeding reality was anticipated as early as the mid-60s, when the sessional paper number 10 on African socialism and its application to planning in Kenya of 1965 recognized the need to align national planning within the context of population growth. Besides, the same reality has variously attracted the attention of tens of international conferences, UN Special Assembly sessions, regional and national forums, to which Kenya has been an active participant over the years. There is certainly enough to do with regard to fine-tuning our view of planning in line with demographic realities. So far, we have been able, as a country, to implement some of the agreed plans of action, resolutions and conventions relating to population and development that have led to the achievement of several milestones. In 2003, for example, the government successfully implemented the economic recovery strategy for wealth and employment creation in response to the dismal economic performance of the 1980s and the 1990s. The move was aimed at improving the quality of life of our people through the reduction of poverty and improved livelihood. In 2008, the government unveiled its first 5-year midterm plan, 2008 to 2012, as part of Kenya's Vision 2030 roadmap, thereby demonstrating adherence to a structural approach towards realization of the vision. The challenge before us now is to raise the country's GDP and inject creativity in our development processes and procedures. More programs in line with the economic stimulus package, Kazi kwa Vijana, and the various flagship projects under Vision 2030 should be evolved to mitigate the negative economic development occasioned by such unforeseen eventualities as poor weather, rapid increment of fuel prices, and any other unexpected drawbacks that affect economic progress. We must address poverty, not just as a condition that elicits sympathy, but as a real danger to the implementation of any development plan. The external phase of poverty is just but a window to other forms of more debilitating ones that ravage the character of a nation and in the process destroying its very foundation. Planners must therefore take cognizance of this fact. Ladies and gentlemen, in all the planning efforts unveiled since independence, population growth has been singled out as a key enemy to the realization of the government development goals. In my view, this matter of population growth as a hurdle to development is an old and tired song that ought to find a replacement. A worthy replacement to this cliche must recognize the truth that demographic figures always shift, and that as they do so, development also goes similarly shift. Moving forward, we must find ways of educating members of the public to fully understand their roles, their obligations, and responsibilities in the national development cycle. And as we do so, let us remember that our number one challenge in the development process at the moment is to craft an ideal framework within which our youth, who comprise 75% of the total population, will be engaged in gainful employment, self or otherwise. Ways of turning talents available to the youth into a national resource must be forged. In concluding, ladies and gentlemen, may I reiterate government's commitment to addressing the population and development challenges and assure you of our preparedness to support initiatives that will contribute towards effective population management in our country. In line with the new constitution, the government will enable access of national resources to get even closer to the people wherever they are based. And of course, it's a matter of devolution, which we all take very seriously. And with these remarks, it is now my pleasure to declare the 2010 National Leaders Conference on Population and Development officially opened, and wish you very fruitful deliberations. Thank you, and may God bless you.